Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that's gotten a ton of attention over the last several years in the home theater community, and that is the proper way to set up an UST. That's an ultra short throw projector. If you're not familiar, that's a little projector that sits right on the wall and shoots kind of straight up onto the wall or onto a screen. And that's the piece that we're going to dig into today, the screen, because most people don't talk about it, but the screen is just as important as the projector itself, right? You need to pick the right screen for your room, for your use case, and there are a lot of different options. So as we talk through that, we're going to really look at a screen from a company called Vividstorm, and this is the S Pro 100 ALR UST screen. That's a big mouthful. And basically what that means is that this screen is 100 inches, 16 by 9, has ambient light rejecting material, right? And that means that it helps overcome the issue of ambient light in a room, and it's designed specifically for a UST projector. So we'll get deep into this screen, and you can see how this might be the right style screen for you, because this thing is really cool, right? So this is not the big screen that sits on the wall and is kind of an eyesore. This is the cool screen that hides, it disappears. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's get into that now, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. While we get this S Pro 100 out of the box, let's talk a little bit about different types of screen material. Screens basically come in 3 different kinds. There's a normal screen, right? You put it on the wall, you project onto it, and you could be in different colors and different screen gains, but it doesn't do anything special. Beyond that, there's what's called a acoustically transparent screen, and these are either perf or weave screens, and the idea is that you can put speakers behind them and the screen is transparent and it allows the sound to come through. Well, the last type is the ambient light reducing screen, right? So an ALR screen, and that's designed to make screens work better in a room that has ambient light. So if you looked at this kind of screen from the side, it kind of looks like a saw blade. So what it does is when you use a ultra short throw projector, projecting light up at the screen, the idea is that it will reflect more of that light back at the viewer rather than reflecting the ambient light in the room back toward the viewer. And this screen that we're looking at now, the S Pro 100 from Vividstorm, is an ALR screen. Now let's talk about the setup and operation. So setting it up is really easy. You just plug it in. Now there is a USB dongle that's a power sensing dongle that you can plug into the back of your projector so that when it powers on, it'll go ahead and automatically trigger the screen to open. And we'll show that in a minute, but let's go ahead and take a look at the screen opening. Now this is the magic, right? This is what's really cool, and this is why people buy this screen, because it hides away. The motor noise on the screen seems to be much reduced from earlier versions of this product, and the opening time on this is about 30 seconds, so it doesn't take a long time for this thing to pop open. You're seeing the very first opening of the screen now. Now let's talk a little bit more about the included accessories. So first off, there's this clear plastic bag with a brush and 2 plastic sticks, right? So this is for cleaning. Obviously the brush is used to brush dust or lint or whatnot off the screen. You should never touch the screen with your hands for obvious reasons. And then these 2 little posts, the black one and the yellow one, can be used to raise or lower the maximum height of the screen. So if you have an interesting placement or your projector has to be closer or further away, this will help you tweak the screen to the perfect height. Now beyond this, there are 2 remotes that are included. They're very straightforward. There's a black one and a white one, and there's an up, down, and stop button. So you can stop the screen at any point in its raising or lowering. So you can custom set that wherever you want it at. Now the last piece, which is a little more interesting, is actually pretty cool. So this is a USB dongle that plugs into your projector. And the idea is when the projector turns on, this turns on and transmits a signal to the screen telling it to open. And when the projector turns off, this stops transmitting and the screen will close. Now this is dependent on your projector having USB ports that turn on and turn off with the power. I tried this with my Hisense L9G, and the USB ports are always on all the time, even when the unit is turned off. So I guess it's really sleeping as opposed to being completely powered off. And when you plug this in, you can tell because the light will light up immediately and your projector screen will go up, right? So it doesn't function correctly with that particular model, but I did have a Vava in the past that it worked fine with. So your mileage will vary with this device, but if you have a projector that has USB ports that turn off and on fully when the unit is off or on, then this is a really cool accessory to use. Now we're going to take a look at some real world performance for this screen. Now, everything varies from projector to projector and room to room, so how this screen looks in your environment is going to be really dependent on the amount of light in your room, your equipment, your setup, but this is just to give you an idea of what we've got going on here. So this is in my living room. There are 4 windows that are open. There are also some practical lights, the lights in the ceiling and whatnot, that are on. So this room is filled with huge amounts of ambient light, and this screen still does a really good job of forcing that stuff out and bouncing the light from the projector back into our eyes, right? So it still appears to be very nice and bright. Is it as good as when the lights are out and it's nighttime? No, obviously not. But it does a really good job of making an ultra short throw projector usable during bright daylight. Now, let's take a look at another use case when it is darker, and you can see the difference there when the lights are on and off. Now let's take a look at the effectiveness of the ALR material itself. So what I'm doing is I'm playing a video on the screen, and as it plays, I'm turning the lights in the room on and off, and you can see that in the background. One thing to notice is that as the lights come on and as they go off, there's not a big difference in what you're seeing on the screen, almost no difference at all, really, which is really, really nice. And that is the point of the ALR material, right? It's supposed to reject that ambient light and reflect back just the light coming from the projector, and it does that quite well. So that's the S Pro 100 from Vividstorm. Hopefully this video is giving you some extra details on screen types and this model in particular, so that when you're deciding what you need in your home for your ultra short throw projector, you can make the right decision. I think this screen does a wonderful job at creating an experience that can be enjoyed both in dark and very light environments. The screen did a great job of really bouncing out that extra ambient light and really just bouncing back to your eyes the light coming off the projector. Now, obviously, it's better in a dark room, and that's going to be true in all circumstances, but in a light environment, this thing kicks some pretty good butt. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and ring the bell and do all those things that you normally do. And I'll see you guys in the next video.